Hi, this is Skeptic Sage. I'm responding to a video called Theism is a Mind Disorder. I forget the name of the two people that were doing it. I recorded this video a couple days ago, but my sound wasn't for shit, and I got lots of complaints from people saying I should re-record it because they wanted to know what I was saying, so here I am. I just wanted to say I'm a psychologist licensed in California, and I actually do REBT along with other forms of cognitive therapy. I am also an atheist, and I certainly understand the perceptions of the two people in the video, but I wanted to challenge them because there are two things that I think they said that are not correct. Number one, the whole premise of theism being a mind disorder in the DSM is a little bit far-fetched, because in order for a behavior or in order for any kind of perception to be a disorder in DSM, it has to fit a number of criteria to even be in the running. One of the things is that it has to be a behavior or a perception that causes marked, I think it's important to say that, marked dysfunction in multiple areas of a person's life, and that marked dysfunction is pervasive. In other words, it's not just a little bit of dysfunction, it's a lot, and it happens in multiple areas, and it happens in those multiple areas continuously, consistently. I think it would be pretty hard to explain how people believing in God, all of them are consistently going to show up as having specific dysfunctions in specific areas continuously. I agree with you that theism is ridiculous, that it can, under certain circumstances, be very dangerous and be very, very detrimental in people's lives. It certainly, developmentally, as you know, can cause damage to people. But I would suggest to you that with the REBT model, there's sort of a problem. Rationality, as it's defined in the REBT model or in cognitive therapy, is not the same thing as a syllogism, or it's not the same thing as rationality in terms of somebody doing a rational equation of some sort. It's more of rationality as in being scientific, and not even that, but being empirical. And the thing that is wrong with most of the thoughts that people have is their extremity, their arbitrariness. The problem with the assumption that someone, the belief in God, which is certainly arbitrary, is the fact that there are a lot of people, I think, that believe in God, and it actually is functional for them. It actually makes them more functional in their lives. I think there's a lot of people that, if they were to give up their belief in God, it would actually lead to more dysfunction in their lives. Now, maybe someone could give up the belief in God, become more dysfunctional, and then out of that they would develop other sorts of coping skills that would be maybe superior to the belief in God. Now, as an atheist, I'm all with you there. Sounds great what you're saying. I don't think it's very realistic, though. I don't think you and I have the scientific evidence, because I'm challenging you. Where's your evidence to prove that if large numbers of people gave up their belief in God, that this would increase their mental health? I don't think you can prove that. I don't think you can show that people who don't believe in God are necessarily any better off than people who do, because most of the studies around it are mixed in the results that they get. Also, those studies would never be able to tell you whether giving up the belief in God would actually increase a person's mental health or their functionality, because think about it. If we were to do a study, let's say, or a series of studies that showed that a belief in God was associated with psychopathology and a lack of belief in God was associated with the lack of psychopathology, the question would be, which way is the cause and effect arrow going? In other words, is it that people who believe in God become dysfunctional because of that, or is it because people who are dysfunctional and who maybe need more help to function are more likely to be attracted to a belief in God? So it would be very difficult to explain, because, I mean, think about it. The kind of people that show up at churches are frequently downhearted people. People who are homeless, for instance, might show up at a church kitchen. Would these soup kitchens you see, would that be evidence that Christianity causes homelessness just because homeless people are attracted to going to churches? Maybe that's a little bit of a bad metaphor, but I think that I want to challenge you, as we both believe in REBT, and one of the things we ask is, what's the evidence? And then the second question we ask always is, what is the emotional ramifications, implications of that belief? What will be the emotional consequences of that belief? So what I'm asking you is, what is your evidence that a giving up of a belief in God would help people psychologically? And secondly, more importantly, can you be sure that the ramifications and implications of the belief in God are all negative? Isn't it possible that some people can believe in things that are not true, and that those untrue things can be functional? Isn't the measure of a behavior of any kind as to whether it is functional, is the proof is in the pudding? If you do the behavior and you function better, then it's functional. There isn't any criteria other than testing it out. And I would like to know where you're getting your evidence. I'd like to get a response. I hope you give me a video response. That'd be cool. But this is Dr. Skeptic Sage. And I'm reminding everybody, as I always do, that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And I wish everybody peace. Good night.